Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Soumya Avasthi. Make sure to subscribe my YouTube channel Study with Soumya. This channel is definitely going to be very helpful for you. So please do subscribe. Also, when subscribing the channel, don't forget to turn on the bell icon so that you don't miss any update from the channel. And do join us at our Telegram channel. The link for the Telegram channel is given in the description itself. Well, in this video, we are going to solve the DRC coding questions that were asked on 29th of April. Right, so this video is going to be very helpful for you. Here we'll be solving both the coding questions that are asked in TCS DRC. So make sure to watch the complete video till the end. Also, what else you can do is that just share this video among your friends so that even they can know about the coding questions. And if you are liking the content that we are sharing, then make sure to share the videos. Right, so without any delay, let's start with the first question. So the first question that was asked in the TCS DRC exam was that accept total number of participants P in class A group of 4 has to be created from registered participants. So there are some registered participants P and we have to create a group of 4 from these registered participants. The limit is 200. Also, if total number of participant is even number, then the criteria for group division is that each group should have equal number of participants. So in the case the number of participants is even, so you have to make sure that each group should be having even number of participants also, or basically equal number of participants, and total number of participants in each group should be an even number. So that is what you have to take care of, right? For example, if P equal to 104, then group should be having 26. Group B should be having 26, group C should be having 26, and group D should be having 26. Well, in some cases, even if the number you cannot equally divide it, right? Let's suppose that if we are having 122 participants, so this is also an even number, but when you will be dividing this by 4, so what we are going to have is that 120. So this 2 is still remaining because that cannot be, we cannot divide this into all the 4 groups because these are participants. They are not something that we can divide in fraction, right? They are just humans. So that's why just be assured of that. So whatever input values they will be giving, that will be divisible by 4 itself so that the participants can be equally divided. So you don't have to worry about that. Also, they have given if total number of participants is odd, then criteria for group division is that take the nearest multiple of less than P and perform 4 equal divisions, and then the left out participant are added in group D. For example, if P equal to 127, then group 4 equal to 31, group B equal to 31, group C equal to 31, and group D equal to 34. So why we are getting 34 in group D? Because see, 31 participants plus left out will be 3. So if you will be dividing 127 by 4, what will be getting? 31. Right? Will be getting 31. So how many participants are left? 3 participants are left, and they have clearly mentioned that left out participants should be added in group D. So we'll be adding these to group D. So this is how we have to solve the question. Like this is what the question says. Well, the question isn't that tough. Some division operation is involved. Also, one tricky part is that you must be confused here. For example, even if the number is even, it's not always that it should be divisible by 4. For example, in case of 122, or we have multiple examples like so. So don't worry about this, because for sure they'll be, whatever input they'll be giving for the test cases also, that should be divisible by 4, because they are participants and we cannot divide participant in a fractional order, right? So that is the case. So without any delay, let's see the code part of the same. So let's move to the coding part now. Also have a look on this example that is given here. So the constant is that the number of participants should be greater than equal to 100 and less than equal to 200, and if it is not so, so you have to print invalid input in the output. And for example, input given 104, so for this we are getting 26, 26, 26, 26 4 times. So this belongs to group A, this belongs to group B, this belongs to group C, this belongs to group D. And next we are having input 127 as if this is odd number. So for this, what we have to do, we have to just simply first of all equally divide in group A, B, C, D, and whatever the remaining participants are, so we have to add left out participants in the group D itself. So that's why we are getting 34 in the group D, right? So now let's move to the code part. So let's take an integer P, right? So that is showing the number of participants. So we are having integer P here, C in P. Now what we have to do, so first of all we have to check for the constant that if P greater than equal to 100 and P less than equal to 200. So if the value of P is in this range, that is fine. Otherwise what we have to print, otherwise we have to print invalid, we have to print invalid input. Fine. Now what you can do, so just simply whatever is the value of your P, so let's take here two variables, rem and another one is db. So whatever is the value of P, just simply divide this by 4 or take the mod of this particular P value by 4. See, if the value is divisible by 4, so for sure the mod operation will give us 0 as the output. And if it is something like odd, for example 127, so what will be stored in rem in that case? 3 will be stored, right? Also let's take this dv, so that will be storing the quotient that we'll be getting after dividing the P by 4. So REM is storing the remainder and DV is storing the quotient. For example, in the case of 104, what is the quotient? 26 is the quotient, right? So some 26 will be stored in the DV. Now what we can do, just simply we can print the value of DV and we can do handle. Here also DV handle out. For this, you can even run a loop instead of repeating the same statements again and again. That will also work fine. Now, whatever is the value of REM, REM is showing the remainder, the left out participants. So just simply add them to the group 4 participants. So this was the question. See, if the number is something even, for example 104, so what is the value of REM in that case? 0. So if you will add 0 to any number, you will get the number itself. In case of 127, what is the remainder? 3 is the remainder, right? And if you will add this 3 to 31, right? If you will add this 3 to 31, so DB will be storing 31, right? So 31 plus 3 will give us 34. So this is how it will work. So now let's run our code. So for example, we are giving 127. So you can see we are getting 31, 31, 31, 34. Let's try for another input. So if we are giving 104, so you can see we are getting 26, 26, 26, 26. Okay, so that is working fine. Now let us see the next question that was asked in the DRC itself. So this is our next question. So according to this question, a store has different categories of products in stock as shown. Item number is given to us 101, 102, 103, 104. Also, item name is given to us, that is milk, cheese, ghee, bread. Price associated with these item name or item number, that is 42 with milk, 50 with cheese, 500 with ghee, 40 with bread. Stock, so stock of milk product is 10, stock of cheese is 20, stock of ghee is 50, stock of bread is 16, right? Now what user do, user will give input with two values as, so first value is going to be the item number for item which he wish to buy, and another input is going to be the quantity for the item entered above. So like how much quantity of the product, how much quantity of the product item is required by the user. So he'll be given two inputs. First is the item number and next is the quantity of the item. When user enters above input, the code should check the stock. Now there are some conditions which we have to check. So if quantity is less than stock and item is available, so whatever the quantity user is asking for, if that is less than stock, so what we have to do, so in that case also if item is available, so we have to display a notification message showing that the price will be getting by multiplying quantity into the price of, so this price is given of the for the single item. If he is asking for 5 items, so 5 into price of I, that is, let's suppose I is 0, so that is of milk. So this is how we'll be calculating the total price. So we have to print the price in the output. Also we have to print the what is quantity left. Suppose a user want 5 liter of milk and here 10 is available, so 5 will be provided to him and remaining will be 5, so 5 will be printed here. If the quantity in stock is less than quantity entered by user order, then display. So if the user is asking for 20 liter of milk and you can say here 10 is available, so what we have to print, we have to simply print that no stock and quantity will remain as it is, so we have to print 10 itself. If user enter character as input for item number or enter item number which is not available, then we have to simply output, we have to simply print invalid input. These are the conditions that we have to check for and we have to write the code for the same. Okay, so I hope the question is clear to all of you. Now, for example, they have given to us item number given is 101 and quantity is 4. So for item number 101, we have milk, right? We have milk and he is asking for 4 quantity. So 10 out of like 10 minus 4, that will give us 6. It means 6 is left. And what will be the price? So for 4, the price will be 42 into 4, that is 168.0. We are getting in the form of floating point value, so we have to print in the same order, that is 168.0 INR we have to print, and whatever the quantity is left, that we have to print. If the user is giving 104, so see 104 is available and quantity he's asking for is 20, but you can see here the quantity in the stock is just 16. So in that case, what we have to print, we have to print no stock and quantity left will be as it is, that is 16 left. So this is what you have to do. I hope now the question is properly clear to everyone. So without wasting any time, let's move to the coding part now. So first of all, let's take an array for storing item number that is given to us. So we have 101, 102, 103, 104. So this is our array storing item number of integer type, storing item number. Next we have to store item names, that is milk, ghee, cheese and all. So let's take a array of a string now. So here we will be having milk. Next we have ghee. Next we have bread. Okay, but after milk there was cheese, right? So we have to print that first. So there was milk, then cheese. So cheese, milk, cheese, ghee, and next one is bread, and that's it. So these values are done. Now what we have to do, so we have to take an array for storing the price as well. So int price, and the values for this are 42, 50, 500, 40, right? And next what we have to do, let's take a variable of floating type, that is res, that will be printing the overall price for the user or the consumer. Let's take another array of integer type for showing the stock. So we have 10, 20, 15, 16. So these are the stocks available to us. Next what we have to do, so let's take a variable to keep track of, like if the input given by the, like if the item number given by the user is not available, or like he's giving some random number or something else, so in that case we have to simply print invalid input. So keep track of that. We are taking this variable flag. Also let's take item and quantity. So these are the values that will be provided by the user itself. So scanf %d and ampersand item ampersand qt, that is quantity. right? So that is done. Now what we'll be doing, so simply we have to run a loop. We have to run a loop I less than 4 because there are just 4 items available. So here we'll be checking if item number, ith item number or ith element in the item number array is equal to that of the item that is given by the user, the item number that is given by the user. So if that is the case, so here also we have to check for two conditions. First of all, we'll be updating the value of flag as 1. It means that particular item number is found. So also we have to check that whether the stock is available or not, whether the quantity that the user is looking for, we can satisfy that particular quantity or not. So here we have to check that if quantity is greater than that of stock of that particular ith element. So if the quantity is greater than that of the stock that is available for that particular ith element, it means we cannot satisfy the user requirement. So in that case we have to simply print no stock, right? And on the next line we have to give that how much quantity is left. So for sure there has been no change, right? So in that case we'll be printing stock of I, comma, left, right? So that is done. Otherwise, if suppose the quantity is less than or equal to that of stock of I, so in that case what we have to do, so let's take the variable res. In that we'll be storing the overall price. So price of that particular ith element we have to multiply by quantity to get the overall price, right? And now what we'll be doing, so we'll be simply printing that print f. So res is of floating type, so we have to take 0.1 f because we want just 10 after the decimal point, so that is why. And percent s, comma, res inr. So that is done. Also one more thing that we have to do, we have to print that how much quantity is left, so we have to print that as well. Also we have to do this on new line, so let's take a new line character here itself. So for getting the stock remaining, what we have to do, we have to subtract the actual stock for that particular ith element to that of the quantity that was required by the user, and next we have to give left. Fine, so that is done. So after this what we have to do, see if this condition isn't satisfied, this one, okay, so if that is not satisfied, so what we have to do, in that case we have to check for this one also, that if flag equal 0, it means there is no updation in the value of flag. So we can determine that a user has given something that is not present for the item number value, so we can give invalid input directly, right? So this was the whole code. I hope you understood. So let's run the code now. So let's suppose if we are taking 101 and 6, so you can see we are getting 252.0 INR, 4 left. This reduce that gap between INR and left that you will be able to do by yourself. 101, 4. So you can see we are getting 168.0 INR, 6 left. Let's try for another input. If we are giving 104, 20. So you can see we are getting no stock, 16 left. Let's try for random values, that is 134, 5. So you can see we are getting invalid input. If we are giving some random string for the item number, so you can see we are getting the invalid input, right? So that is working fine. I hope you understood the question, the approach by using which we have solved the question. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe the channel if you haven't subscribed till now. Also do join us at our Telegram channel. Thank you guys. Keep learning, keep preparing. Bye bye.